YouTube ads are better than Facebook ads, but the problem is most businesses are looking at it the completely wrong way. You know, like you don't need a bunch of subscribers. You're just trying to create content that's valuable to someone that's a few steps behind you, right? Let's say you're already doing that, great. When do you start running ads?
You know, I was talking to someone the other day and they mentioned the phrase online business. And I said, you know, we don't need that adjective anymore. It's not online business, it's just business. And I think of YouTube in a similar way. YouTube is now TV.
I can tell you right now, like our best clients that get the best results, they have a consistent presence on YouTube.
I think we're still early in the personal brand game. I think personal brand is like SEO in 2007 or 2008.
Personal brand is so early. I remember Ty Lopez saying this. He was like, the two business models of the future that are only going to matter are going to be personal brand and AI. Everything else is worthless. My name is Brian Moncada. Like Allan said, I'm the founder of adspend.com. For the last 5 years on my own, I've built adspend.com to be one of the fastest growing YouTube ads agencies in the info marketing online education space. Specifically, we primarily just help amazing experts that are good at teaching some information that helps other people improve their lives. And we help them get more clients and customers through advertising, specifically on YouTube.
I'd love to understand more about the interaction between YouTube organic and YouTube paid. So I'm assuming one augments the other. Like, where should you start? What should the journey look like?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess let's take it back to first principles for people that don't even post content on YouTube. If you're not posting content on YouTube, start one video a week, posting something valuable to help your target audience. Like Allan said right there, you know, like you don't need a bunch of subscribers. You're just trying to create content that's valuable to someone that's a few steps behind you, right? Let's say you're already doing that, great. When do you start running ads? Well, as soon as you have enough audiences to remarket to with YouTube ads. So you need about 1,000 subscribers or video viewers or people that have watched a video of yours on your channel, and you can start running ads. Now, YouTube ads can only enhance and grow your YouTube organic channel. And there's a few ways you can do that. You can run direct response ads, the skippable ones inside of the YouTube, video feed, or you can run them as suggested video ads to get people to actually click on your video and watch it organically and boost that content as well. And so both of those go hand in hand. And as soon as you can, I would start remarketing on YouTube with ads immediately. And the way it augments, right, is because when people watch your YouTube organic video, right, you can then remarket to them with a YouTube ad. You can also show an ad to them in their Gmail inbox. So it's not just YouTube that's the powerful component here. It's when they watch the YouTube video, you can then remarket to them on all of the Google properties. And so the impressions you get from that, and more importantly, the ROAS, is crazy compared to what obviously you would have paid back in the day on like TV advertising. So it just creates this full holistic marketing flywheel. And again, the biggest brand awareness comes from YouTube.
So a lot of people feel challenged with posting regularly on YouTube for a couple of reasons. So first, there's the technical side with what microphone, camera, all of that sort of stuff, but then also the whole production schedule. So essentially scripting, putting it together, all of those sorts of things. What are the best ways for someone who's maybe not super experienced with that? Maybe they're open to doing it, they're a thought leader, but those things feel like a little bit of a challenge. And then of course, post-production, like there's editing and thumbnails and descriptions and all of that sort of thing. So there is a bit of a lift. It's not just like, hey, post some stuff on YouTube. There is definitely a little bit of a technical challenge there.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think it starts first with just the personality type too. Some people just aren't as native to just posting content or filming themselves, for example. But I think one of the easiest things you can do to start is you can just forget a lot of the technical setup. Like I actually feel that today with the videos that I consume are usually just raw, sit down, direct to camera, just long form educational videos without much post-production. And when you can actually captivate an audience by just simply teaching what you do from a place of your expertise, it's a lot easier when you just lower the bar for production quality because you can just throw on your iPhone and make it work. You got to start somewhere. I would say start with your iPhone, start with a DJI Osmo, and just be okay with failing. But, public speaking is how you can actually make more money, believe it or not.
So I want to connect with something that you said, and I've noticed this as a trend as well, where we're moving more to longer form, less produced videos. And I've noticed, in fact, your videos, they used to be a lot more polished, a lot more produced, and some of the later ones, I have seen you on your iPhone, you're talking a little bit about your business, you're talking more about your struggles and things like that.
I think a lot of people are just tired of like the bells and whistles. They just want to hear someone who's actually going through the stuff that they're going through too, and talk about what they're learning and actually be able to relate to that person. So the point being is, if that's the bar to come very, very soon, then all we can do, at least what I'm noticing other people do and what I'm trying to do as well, is be as relatable as possible without being so artificial or synthetic that it actually connects with the soul. And like, if you can tell a story with not needing any bells and whistles, no post-production, you can captivate an audience and get them to actually take action without needing all of the extra stuff, then I would argue that's even more powerful. You're even better of a content creator than the other people that need the extra stuff.
What are your thoughts on using AI avatars? When do you use them? How do you use them? Do you disclose that you use them? What are your thoughts?
Our bottleneck has always and was always clients filming new ads when we're scaling, because as you spend more money on advertising, especially on YouTube or even Facebook too, your creative can fatigue a lot faster, especially determining your total addressable market, right? If you're spending thousands of dollars and you're only relying on one ad, you're going to fatigue eventually. And so when I saw that capability, I was like, okay, well, now we just need to upload one good video to create an AI avatar for our clients, obviously, or show them how to do that, and then obviously deploy that onto ads. And so the point being is, like, people are using them. It's here. You can use AI ads now, and people are doing it unethically, obviously, in some cases. But if you're not using them, you're going to lose to other competitors that are going to be testing hundreds of ad creatives every single week compared to you filming manually yourself once a month.
What have you found other platforms complement YouTube well, like does Instagram or Meta or other, or do you just see it as a standalone platform? How do you think about that?
I always believe everything as a system, right? So it's all working synergistically. And so it's like not one or the other. In the beginning, I think it's important to focus on one platform, obviously. But if you can have the ability to have Facebook and Instagram working for you organically and paid, as well as YouTube organically and paid as well, it's only going to grow the entire business as a whole. So all of those platforms can complement each other. I do believe YouTube can just give you such a presence and a reach, though, that's unmatched even to Facebook, because again, like we talked about, it's a new TV. So if you're watching someone consistently on YouTube and you see this guy's ads over and over, even if you're skipping them, you're still recognizing that person as a sort of micro celebrity, person of interest, expert. And that's going to play a role when they see you on Facebook or see you on Instagram and they eventually buy. So they're both going to complement each other.
One of the things that I'm pretty convinced of is that podcasts are essentially migrating from podcast platforms like Apple, iTunes, and Spotify and all of that to YouTube. And I've seen it from my own behavior. Now, whenever I subscribe to a new podcast or whatever, I do it on YouTube, because I think YouTube doesn't have to do a lot to start dominating podcasts. And now, even when I find a podcast that I want to listen to and they're not on YouTube, I kind of get a little bit annoyed as well. What are your thoughts around podcasts as the content for YouTube? Is there a good way to leverage them for, you know, moving people from just a podcast format to, hey, booking a call and things like that? What are your thoughts there?
I actually see that same shift happening to me too. I don't go to Spotify for podcasts. So ultimately, what's funny though is I do believe podcasts play a role with your YouTube organic content, and they're one of the best by far to have your own call to actions in there. Like all the podcasts I listen to now, they have their own plugged sponsorships or advertisements throughout the entire long form content. What I believe you should do, at least, is you should at least have a few different styles of shows on your YouTube channel. And one of those formats could potentially be a podcast style, long form piece of content. And that can be obviously a really good value add for your business, because again, it just goes back to the time spent with you to get to them to know, like, and trust you. If they're spending consistently an hour or two a week watching a podcast from you every single week for, 6 weeks straight, the chances of them actually converting or buying something for you, or just even engaging with your content's a lot higher. So if you can do long form, which I believe everybody can with a simple format like this, just talking about what you love anyways, like that would be very easy to do.
I wanted to highlight something that you mentioned just then, sort of in passing, but the amount of time someone spends with your content, incredibly important for creating relationship, for creating trust. There's this parasocial relationship. It's like, I think that's one of the powerful things about having a book is because someone has to spend hours with your content, whether listening or reading or whatever, and they feel like they get to know you, especially if you're telling stories, especially if they like the content. My friend Taki Moore calls this brandwidth. So not bandwidth, brandwidth. So how much time has someone spent with your content? What he found was if someone had consumed at least 47 minutes of his content, they were like 10 times more likely to convert to being a paid client versus someone who'd spent less. So the whole goal of his marketing is to get someone to consume 47 minutes of my content. And that's in his opt-in sequences, that's in his follow-up, that's in his remarketing and all of this sort of thing. So this concept of brandwidth, how much time has someone spent consuming your content? Massive, massive factor.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's why I believe one of the perfect flywheels you can implement immediately for anybody listening to this or even, continuing to do now is just like, again, consistent posts on YouTube, minimum once a week, and then a daily email to your list, or at least 2 to 3 emails a week minimum, one pushing to your YouTube video, one pushing to a case study or testimonial, one pushing to a direct call to action to sign up or get your book or book a call with my team, for example. And then on top of that, just obviously running ads on YouTube. All of those things can be a perfect flywheel. Not only that, then when someone books a call, and I learned this strategy actually from Jeremy Haynes, so shout out to Jeremy Haynes, but even after someone does maybe, for example, consume those 47 minutes of content, or even if they're in the buyer cycle and they haven't consumed 47 minutes of content, but they book a call. Well, after they book a call, you can implement, for example, what Jeremy Haynes calls as the hammer them strategy, where you have a number of different emails being sent to them within 72 hours before they actually show up to the call. So for example, if you book a call with adspin.com, you'll get 15 to 18 different emails. 3 of them are going to be from Calendly, but 15 pre-written emails by me specifically, further indoctrinating you into the power of YouTube ads for a business and just showing you the potential that could be possible. And it's also telling stories and using case studies and obviously really objection handling as well. And then those long form emails are also spending more time with the person who's already booked a call before they show up to the discovery call, for example. And again, further pushing them to the buyer cycle and be ready to actually make a purchase decision potentially.
What do you think about naming your YouTube channel with your business versus your personal? I mean, I think we're still early in the personal brand game. I think personal brand is like SEO in 2007 or 2008. And, this channel, my channel is currently in my business name, Lean Marketing, but I think I want to rename it back to just Allan Dib. I think people connect with people a lot more. But what are your thoughts?
And I think it just depends on the goal too, right? So the fact that you have Lean Marketing as your YouTube channel, I think is good. If you wanted to exit and sell one day, it would help you because then obviously it would reduce the face of the brand needing to be involved in the business. But I always just think about what Sam Ovens told me at his mastermind in Quantum a few years back. And this is the same line that I thought of always before he even said it too, which was people buy from people, just like you said, right? And if you grow your personal brand, it's only going to grow the Lean Marketing brand anyways. And I think, again, like you said, personal brand is so early. I remember Ty Lopez saying this. He was like, the 2 business models of the future that are only going to matter are going to be personal brand and AI. Everything else is worthless. So personal brand by far is going to be a lot better, in my opinion, than the business brand.
Brian, you've been extremely generous with your time, with your knowledge. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Where can people find you? And of course, we'll link in the description to all those resources.
Yeah, if you want to check out more about what we do, just head over to www.adspend.com and you can obviously check out what we do there. A lot of cool stuff that we're working on. And then if you just want to catch up with me, go to my YouTube channel, Brian Moncada on YouTube. And it's been fun, man.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Brian.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Lean Marketing Podcast. This podcast is sponsored by the Lean Marketing Accelerator. Want to take control of your marketing and see real results? With the Accelerator, you get proven strategies, tools, and personalized support to scale your business. Visit leanmarketing.com/accelerator to learn how we can help you get bigger results with less marketing. And if you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review or share it with someone who would find it helpful. See you next time.